Welcome back to our deep dive. Today we're tackling something I know a lot of you are thinking about. Moving up from data engineer to data architect.
It's a really common ambition, yeah.
And specifically, we want to explore how getting really good at Snowflake could actually be your shortcut, your bridge to that architect role.
It's a great angle because Snowflake mastery, it really pushes you beyond just the engineering tasks.
So let's start there. What
Yeah.
is the fundamental difference, engineer versus architect? It's more than just a title change, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Think of it like this. The data engineer builds. They're focused on the pipelines, the infrastructure, making sure data flows correctly,
Mhm.
hands-on construction.
Right, in the weeds, getting things built day to day.
Exactly. The data architect, though, they step back. They're designing the blueprint for the entire structure. How does it scale? How does it align with what the business actually needs?
Okay, so more strategic.
Strategic, yeah. And thinking about governance, cost efficiency, security, the whole system design. It's a definite shift in mindset from tactical execution to that broader strategic vision.
And you're saying Snowflake fits into this because, well, it's not just another database anymore, is it?
Not at all. It's really evolved into this comprehensive data platform, and the way you use its features, the choices you make within Snowflake, they have real architectural weight.
Interesting. So mastering it isn't just learning syntax, it's like learning to think like an architect.
That's a perfect way to put it. Take virtual warehouses, for instance.
Yeah.
Managing those effectively, that forces you to think about platform level costs.
Ah, okay. Not just, is my query fast, but what's the overall resource impact?
Precisely. Resource allocation, budgeting across teams, maybe, that's pure architectural thinking, managing those trade-offs.
Okay, what else? What other Snowflake features push you in that direction?
Well, role-based access control, RBAC. Designing a good RBAC model in Snowflake isn't just about clicking buttons to grant permissions.
Right, it feels more foundational than that.
It is. You're forced to consider, who owns what data? How should different departments access things securely? You're designing governance structures, essentially, across the whole organization sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Governance is a huge piece of the architectural.
Definitely. And then you've got things like data sharing, secure data sharing, and Snowpark for bringing computation like Python or Java right to the data.
Okay, now we're moving beyond just the internal data warehouse structure.
Exactly. You start thinking about cross-organizational collaboration, securely, of course, and how to integrate more advanced stuff, maybe AI or ML workflows using Snowpark. It expands your view to the whole data ecosystem.
Okay, so let's make this practical. For the listeners who are data engineers using Snowflake right now, maybe feeling stuck in the daily tasks,
Yeah.
how do they start making this shift? How do they leverage Snowflake to think more architecturally?
Yeah, good question. It starts with looking beyond your immediate tickets, volunteer for the optimization tasks, really dig into why the virtual warehouses are being used the way they are.
So, like, analyze the consumption patterns, propose changes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Understand the cost implications. Suggest ways to improve efficiency, not just for one pipeline, but maybe platform-wide,
Yeah.
and get involved in shaping access policies.
Don't just implement the policy, understand the why behind it.
Exactly. Understand the principles, the trade-offs being made. That's where the architectural thinking starts to build.
And presumably it's not just about those core features. You mentioned Snowpark, data sharing. Should they be actively exploring those too?
Absolutely. You need to understand the potential of the whole platform. Explore Snowpark, even if you don't use it daily. See what's possible. Understand external sharing capabilities.
What about integrations?
Crucial. How does Snowflake fit with your ETL or ELT tools? How does it work within your broader cloud environment, AWS, Azure, GCP? The more you understand those connections and possibilities, the more strategic your perspective becomes.
It sounds like building breadth on top of depth within Snowflake.
That's a good way to think about it. Deep technical skill plus a broad understanding of its place in the bigger picture.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. What about the leaders listening? If they have talented data engineers they want to nurture towards an architect role, what's their part in this?
Leaders are critical. First, strategic mentorship is key. Don't just assume people will figure it out. Pair promising engineers with experienced architects, if you have them.
Give them exposure, maybe.
Yes. Expose them to cross-functional projects, things where they see the business context. Encourage them to think about the platform strategically, not just execute tasks. Ask them why, not just how.
And if that internal expertise isn't there yet, if you don't have senior architects to do the mentoring.
That's a fair point. Sometimes you might need to look externally, maybe bring in a consultant or partner who has that architectural vision to help guide the team, or even specific training focused on data architecture principles using Snowflake.
So the core idea here seems to be that really mastering Snowflake, going deep, isn't just about becoming a technical guru. It's about developing that strategic viewpoint, seeing the whole data landscape.
You've got it. It's using the platform as a vehicle to cultivate that architect's mindset, seeing the forest, not just the trees.
And for folks who want to dig even deeper into these ideas.
Yeah, the Cure Partners blog actually has some really good articles on this, exploring these kinds of transitions and platform strategies. Worth checking out.
Great. So as you're listening, think about this. How could focusing deeply on a powerful, integrated platform like Snowflake change your career trajectory? Or how could it help shape the future architects on your team?
And maybe a final thought to leave people with. How might this trend, this deep mastery of specific platforms, actually start to reshape what data architecture itself looks like in the future?
It's an interesting question, isn't it? Something to chew on.